Russian invasion continues. Heavy fighting takes place in Kiev, Kharkiv, Mariupol and Sumy. A third round of negotiations has started in Belarus. The Russian army is continuing its offensive in Ukraine on Monday, March 7, tightening its grip on the capital Kiev. Heavy fighting is also taking place in Kharkiv, Mariupol and Sumy. The third round of negotiations between Russians and Ukrainians did not yield convincing results. Heavy fighting opposes Ukrainian and Russian forces in the cities of Kiev, Kharkiv, Mariupol and Sumy. The Russian army is also continuing the siege of the strategic port of Mariupol, on the Sea of Azov in the southeast of the country, where a second attempt at humanitarian evacuation failed on Sunday, March 6. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has accused Russia of planning to bomb the Black Sea port of Odessa. Russian missiles fired from ships at sea fell on the village of Tausli in the Odessa region on Monday, March 7, a regional military spokesman said. According to him, the shots targeted critical infrastructure sites, but did not cause any injuries. The mayor of Gostomel, a city neighboring Kiev known since the start of the invasion to house a military base, was killed by the Russian army. Yuri Ilyich Prilipko was distributing food and medicine to the injured, according to a statement from the city on Facebook. 9 people were killed in a Russian bombing of Vinnytsia Airport, 200 kilometers southwest of Kiev. At least 13 people also died in bombings that hit an industrial bakery in Kharkiv, about 50 kilometers west of the capital. The UN Human Rights Office said at least 406 civilians, including 27 children, had died since the start of the invasion, which also left 801 injured. The day before, the toll was 364 dead and 759 injured. So far, 1.7 million people have already fled Ukraine, but Europe can expect to welcome 5 million exiles if the invasion and bombing of cities continues, said the head of European diplomacy Josep Borrell. In Irpin, 20 kilometers northwest of Kiev, 10,000 people fled the fighting in 5 days. According to local authorities, the same number remain to be evacuated, while 10,000 others refuse to leave. The UN also expressed concern about the 100,000 children living in boarding schools, indicating that precautions were needed to evacuate them to other countries. Ukraine announced this morning that it refuses to use the humanitarian corridors opened by Russia, as they all lead to Belarus and Russia. This is not an acceptable option, said Ukrainian Prime Minister Irina Vereshchuk. French President Emmanuel Macron has denounced Vladimir Putin's moral and political cynicism. The Russians accuse Ukraine of blocking the evacuation of civilians. The third round of negotiations, which took place on Monday, ended with some positive results on the humanitarian corridors, but Russia said it was disappointed with the outcome of the meeting. For Emmanuel Macron, these diplomatic initiatives will not lead to the end of the conflict in the days and weeks to come. The 2 previous rounds of negotiations, also held in Belarus, an ally of Moscow, had not yielded satisfactory results either.